Hey guys, it's Jonah here. Welcome back to Supermarket Sunday, and for those of you keeping score, this is Supermarket Sunday number 52. That means we have been doing reviews for a whole year, and I've even missed out on a couple, so it's been more than a year. Shame on. And when I started this, I didn't think it would be on for that long. It was just something, an experimente that I wanted to try. And yeah, there's a couple of people responsible, but they shall remain nameless. Well, apart from one, there's one man who has done more for supermarket beers than I can think, and that's Terry Kay. He's the one that kind of started me off down this route. And Christian Brubear, on, big shout out to you, because you're kind of doing the same thing as well with the cheapo beero. There's quite a few people looking for the cheapest beer that they can find. But Supermarket Sunday isn't just about cheap beer. It's about finding beers from your local supermarket and seeing what they like. And I picked a very special beer because it has a reputation for being terribly bad. And I wanted to try it, and I haven't done one of these before. And I've chosen which one? It's this one. It's the Tesco's stroke Marston stroke loads of different brewers. It is the Revisionist. Revisionist? Something like that. This one's from Marston's. This is the Pacific hop one, and what's it called? It's the Red Ale. It's the Pacific Hop Red Ale. And on the front, I quite like the label, by the way, and especially for this one. Weird little logo here, down here, to kind of give it that weird, I don't know, Pacific thing. And look, pay special attention to the neck chief, because this is where it actually says what the hops are. Waimea and Pacific Gem hops. And for those of you that like me, nice good hop, got a nice logo on there, pretty trippy. And this beer has been slated by a few beer reviewers, but I won't go in. You can find, if you're interested after this one, have a look at some of the other reviews that have been on this beer and see if you think my one holds up. On the back it says Banks's Brewmaster Simon Yates. Banks's? I thought this was Marston's. Get confused. It says Marston's on the front, it says Banks on the back. Coming in at 4.2% on the ABV. It's a 500. I really wanted to find a pint bottle for my year anniversary. But even Marks and Spencer, who used to do the pint bottles, they're not doing them anymore. And I quite like the Marks and Spencer range, although they are a bit more expensive. So you take your money and you take your choice. I think that smells very nice out of the bottles. And one of the previous beer reviewers slated this beer for having a terrible smell. There we go. He called it a farty smell. I quite like that. Let's have a look at that. That is a lovely kind. I don't know if I'd say that was a golden ale or a red ale. See, nice and clear anyway. I'd say that's a dark amber. Try it that way. Maybe it's a bit red. Let's get into that nose. Now, they were accusing this beer of having that traditional ale farty kind of smell. And all I can smell is a very, very hoppy profile. So I think within a couple of years they have improved, because this range has been around for a while, and I think it's a very good idea. A couple of other people have picked up on it. M&S, as you have recently seen my series over the last, say, month or so, this is kind of the Tesco's version of what they're doing, and I think this was the first one. They teamed up, as I say, Revisionist. Yeah? They teamed up with Marston's, but they've also got other brewers involved as well. Very interesting times we live in. Right, let's crack on with this beer. Oh, very thin, very watery, not very creamy. This tends to be all about the hops. A lot of punch up front. We're getting that lemony kind of citrusy hop. A bit of red, maybe red currant, maybe a bit of kiwi in there. Oh, it's definitely New World hops. And I'm glad to see that people are moving away from Oregon, although there's nothing wrong with the Yakima Valley, and going further afield. Waima, Waiman. No, Waima, Waimie, Pacific Jam. The other one, of course, is the Nelson Savon, which is a lovely hop as well. Oh, that is quite bitter, and this does not taste like a red ale at all. This tastes like a kind of, this could be a New World IPA kind of taste, although we do have a bit of a sharpness in there, kind of a lemony, citrusy sharpness, which personally, I don't like hops being used for hop's sake, put it that way, and this seems to have a bit more hop oil than perhaps it should do, but you know, never mind. You pay your money, you take your choice, and these beers are reasonably cheap because they're at Tesco's. I believe at the moment you can get 4 for £5, meaning this is £1.25, this beer. Ooh, good combination as well. Would I buy it in a pub? I don't know. This is going to be tasting a lot different if it was in a pub as opposed to from the bottle. A little bit too much hop bitterness for me. The other thing is people were saying that they could pick out toffee notes and sort of a creaminess to it. I can't get that at all. And I'm sure they've used something, some different kind of malts to get that colour. Because that colour is very nice. That's probably one of the best things about this beer, is that sort of ambery colour. But picking out the malt notes, I can't really. Let's try one other thing. Don't usually do this, but I have done it before. Oh, okay, yes, that did work. Oh, not a traditional way to drink beer, by swirling it around like mouthwash, but yes, I'm getting that. I'm getting a bit of that sweet kind of biscuit. Maybe this has got some biscuit malt in it. It's that kind of, you know, that doughy kind of biscuity, bready kind of taste that you can get sometimes, which is definitely in here, but it's way in the background because it's got far too much hops in it. Oh, if you're going to go for a hoppy style, look at that, got a bit of lacing on there from swirling it around and drinking. If you like such matters. What I was going to say was, if you like the extra hoppy style, give this one a go, but it's a little bit chemical. I would not be surprised if they bulk up the alcohol by putting a bit of sugar in, like pure sugar, instead of getting 100% of the sugars from the malts, which, as we all know, that's what you should aim at for being a good brewer. Because it's so watery and you've got a lack of that taste, unless you really actively search for it, I guarantee that this is either made strong and watered down, or they've pumped it full of sugar, cane sugar probably, and that stripped the flavour out of the actual malt itself. To counterbalance that, they've bunged loads and loads of hops in it, but it doesn't quite add up to me. However, not bad a go. If you want to try one, and they are, as I say, fantastically cheap, get yourself down to Tesco's, get one of these, £1.25, and if you go for the deal of 4 for a £5, you can pick up some other beers at the same time. Lovely carbonation. Been Unclejona here. Please click like and subscribe down below. We're going to come back shamoning at you next week with some more brews. And hopefully we'll do some more beer reviews in the meantime. The only way you're going to find out is if you subscribe to my channel. Take care, guys. Cheers and beers. Here's to another year's worth of supermarket beer. Shamon. Oh, I think this beer needs a bit of a revision.